it. Where are we going?
To win the whistle.
It's actually not a bad idea, Zephyr Baby.
Yeah, Zephyr Baby said, Siri, write me a new password. All right, 10 seconds.
I'm going to do it once we start.
She'd have some stupid excuse and she wouldn't do it for me.
All right. Hello, and welcome to episode 24 of the Player 3 podcast. I am your host, Luke Croft, and alongside me, we have Benjamin D. Hankins. The D stands for Don't Make a Strong Password.
Don't worry, I have a hard time making any password, so...
Yeah, that was...
a good 20 minutes.
Yeah. Dizzy says it right here in the comments. He says, welcome to Player 3 Podcast. Thanks for suffering through the pre-show. It was miserable.
That's
All
good.
right. We are actually short one podcast
One
member.
handsome devil.
Yeah, one handsome devil. The always visually stunning Larry Hunt is en route to West Virginia. His wife's great grandma died, so our thoughts and prayers are with his wife and their family. So he will hopefully be back next week. But alongside me on this side, we have He Can Fix You a Nice Delicious Glass of Pepsi and Steal Your Daughter's Heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Martin. Hello. You said that there was a crazy dude that came into work the other day. Did you tell me that story?
Yeah, I did tell you. I can't tell it now because there was a lot of language involved.
That's right. I do remember that story now. All right. But we are the Player 3 Podcast. We get together every Monday to talk about the thing that we love more than anything else in the entire universe, and that is video games. And this gets pushed out on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, all of those different places. You can go find us there. If you like us, if you want to support us, subscribe on one of those services and then leave a review for us, especially on iTunes. We got a new one that came in this week.
Sweet.
Mother of God.
You guys ready to hear this?
Yeah.
And this is the benefit of filling out an iTunes review. I'm going to get Diz to drop a link in the Twitch chat when he hears this 20 seconds later. This is from Eric Lall. He's also a Twitter follower of ours. It says, Player 3 Podcast is a group of guys who are always fun to listen to. They cover pretty much all the new games coming out for Xbox and PlayStation. It's mostly a console-centric show, but they occasionally will bring up some PC and handheld titles as well. Overall, I love the mood the show brings and how they always joke around and sing the segment jingles. There you go, Ben.
Yeah, thank you.
They are fun to listen to and very informative. I prefer Player 3 Podcasts over other video game podcasts because of the good vibes that these southern gentlemen exude. Keep casting, boys. Apparently, everyone on the internet thinks that we are Southern gentlemen, and that's from Eric P. You can follow him on Twitter at MEPUFW.
Well, thank you very much, Eric P.
So thank you, Eric. You are awesome, and like I said, if you want to
nice.
support us, you can go and leave us a podcast review.
You're a lovely
And
northern
you
gentleman.
can send personal checks to...
Yeah, we should get a P.O. box in case you want to send us something. This is an interactive show that we like to interact with our Twitch viewers. So if you have any input on topics or any questions you would like us to cover, go ahead, drop those in. Our fantastic producer, Dizzy, that's already my nickname, Cooper, will put those in our show notes, and we will try to cover those for you. But we're going to get this episode, like we get every episode, started with the releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
All right. Releasing on both consoles this week, we have Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. This is going to include Borderlands 2 and Borderlands, the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel. And Ben, hopefully your $400 Claptrap pre-order is coming in.
I'm getting nervous because I ordered it like a month ago and it still hasn't gotten here.
The whole thing was a scam.
I don't think it was supposed to get here. But anyway.
Wait, what? You telling me they're not going to send it to me?
Yeah, they're not sending it to you, buddy. You're out $400
That, and I'm out like $300,000
for buying the Dying
The Dying
Light.
Light.
The Dying Light.
Light
Yeah.
thing.
Why does this not have the first game in there?
I have no idea.
Does it not? I thought it did.
No,
It's going from a handsome collection to a fugly, in my opinion.
it's I'm not sure. Diz is our resident Borderlands person. Diz, let me get your attention for one moment. Borderlands 1 is Handsome Jack the villain. So that's why. It's the Handsome Collection, and Handsome Jack isn't in the first one.
Okay.
Why they didn't just start with a game that people liked in Borderlands, and they did 2 in the pre-sequel just in this one, and didn't just say, hey, it's a Borderlands collection, not pigeonhole themselves into the Handsome Collection, is beyond me. But I'm interested in it. I have so much to play right now, though, that I struggle to want to go back and play anything that's been out. I have Borderlands 2 on Vita, and I've played a little bit of it. But I think a lot of people will be excited about this. The cool thing about it is you can bring over your saves.
Ooh.
So if you played on PS3 and you're picking it up on PS4, you can bring your save over. Same thing on from 360 to the One. You guys interested in this at all?
I mean, I wanted to play the prequel. I wasn't going to play it on a last-gen console, and that was the only thing you could play it on when it first came out. So it interests me to in that point, but I never played Borderlands 2 on a console. I had it on my Mac, so there's no chance of me taking my save stuff over, and I don't want to start over from the beginning. So
Zephyr Baby says he heard they're remastering Borderlands 1 for later remakes. So.
Well, they came out and they said they are monitoring the situation closely, which sounds like it's a hostage situation. But that they are going to see how this collection does, and if it does well, they'll remaster Borderlands 1 to it. But then it's like, why would you? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Why release 2 before you release 1?
I never got into the series, so I would need Borderlands 1 to start off and get interested in this at all.
Borderlands 1 was really good. I spent a lot of time. It's a very, very, like all the Borderlands games. I don't know about the prequel. I didn't play the prequel, but all the Borderlands games are very long, and they have 4 different characters you can play as. So you can play it even longer if you want to play as each character.
Well, right on.
So
right on.
They're nice. I like them.
Also releasing on both consoles this week, we have Slender: The Arrival, which is the video game adaptation of the very terrifying Slenderman series. And it's only... When I was living in Collinsville and I was living in my brother's basement, Larry came over, and I was just starting to get into like the horror genre. I've always not really enjoyed it. And so he's like, you need to watch Slenderman on YouTube. With him knowing good and well that my biggest fear in the universe is people looking in my windows at night. Not necessarily people looking in my windows at night, but me catching somebody looking in my windows at night. You can look at me at night. I don't care. Just make sure I don't see you. So
Good.
So I start watching this thing, and we get, like 7 videos in, and all of a sudden, you're seeing Slenderman in the windows and stuff, and I'm like, nope, I'm done with this. So I have zero interest in this game because that's terrifying to me.
I discovered it in college. I had a roommate that was playing the PC, the little simple game where you run around and find notes and try to avoid Slenderman at all costs. And he had a wetsuit. He was really into diving and scuba stuff. And he used to put like a roll of paper towels in the neck of the wetsuit and zip it up, and with a clothes hanger still in there, and hang it on doors and then in doorways, and like put it in your bed sheets and stuff like that, so that you would go and turn your light on to go to your room, and bam, Slenderman's in there. So we had a little fun with it. It's like Voldemort. You can't give him power.
So you can't say his name?
You can say his name.
Slenderman.
It's
Slenderman.
like.
Is it like Beetlejuice?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, gosh. There he is. So was that you saying you're interested in it or not?
I'll probably check it out. I mean, it's coming to both consoles?
Yes.
Right on.
I haven't seen anything about this game as far as like gameplay. If it's anything like the other Slenderman games, I have no interest in it at all. They had like a mobile game where you had to find like videotapes and like pieces of batteries and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. Not to knock people who like that kind of thing, but there's not really any fun to be had for me.
I did play the mobile game, and it was awesome because it encouraged you to play it at night, and it used like the camera on your phone, and as you scan, that was terrifying.
I had a knockoff one, but I encouraged you to use headphones because I guess the ambiance became much more potent, titillating.
Potent potables.
It'd be cool if you like walked outside with that, like you're in the woods at night, tripping over like logs.
That's a dark path I wouldn't want to go down.
Yeah. So that is everything that'll be releasing on both consoles this week. Releasing exclusively on the PlayStation 4, we have Arcade Archives, Matt Mania Exciting Hours. Matt Mania Exciting Hour is a wrestling game that was released from Technos Japan in 1985. Players use a variety of techniques to be the champion. Enjoy the challenge of facing 5 strong wrestlers. So, old school game. That looks pretty neat. But here we go, guys. Here's where it's at.
He's so ready for this.
We are well. I only mentioned the second because I'm going in alphabetical order on the drop. But we have Bloodborne from Software's Bloodborne, releasing exclusively to the PlayStation 4 tonight.
Tonight.
I will not be going to the midnight release because I don't care how excited I am for a game. I'm never going to a midnight release after that guy tried to recruit me to fight all of the Muslims at GameStop.
It wasn't all the Muslims.
It was the majority of the Muslims.
I think
Problem,
at one
that
point
was
he asked us to
implied.
fight his daughter too. Didn't he ask us to fight his daughter? Or
No,
something?
he asked us to fight for his daughter.
Oh.
His daughter was a baby.
Oh yeah.
The drunk man in
If
the
he was-
GameStop parking lot had his daughter with him at midnight in the car.
If he was asking me to fight his daughter, I'd have taken him up on it because she was small. I feel like I could have taken her.
Right.
But he wanted me to fight like a whole religion of people.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not about fighting a whole religion of people. Not all Muslims are bad Muslims. You know? I'm not doing that.
I can't defend like my own honor, so there's not really I can defend like his daughter's honor.
So yeah, Bloodborne's coming, and I am so excited about this. Tomorrow, if you're listening to the live stream, or if you're listening to this on Monday when it gets pushed to iTunes, tomorrow, Tuesday, the day of Bloodborne's release, I will be streaming at like 10:30 Eastern time. Hopefully, you won't have to work a double.
AM.
Yeah, AM. Hopefully you won't have to work a double. You can stop by for a little bit, hang out, watch me die a ton, watch me want to throw the controller, watch me say things under my breath that are not appropriate.
Or not particularly Christian or Southern gentlemanly.
So stop by that, twitch.tv/player3podcast.
That's
So
very sad. Zephyr says that it only comes out on Friday in England. Is that a bad British?
yeah, that was horrible.
I'm like
Stick to Foghorn Leghorn, cowboy.
I can't do any. The only thing my only impression I have in my bag is old Greg. That's it.
Which sounds stunningly like her Christopher Walken
It
impression.
does a lot.
That's very true. So yeah, I'm excited about Bloodborne. And we've talked about it at length, so I'm not going to exhaust it anymore. I'll have my thoughts on the game out next week. You gonna make it, buddy?
I'm sorry, man. I'm congested here in my throat. My throat's all congested. So
Then we have Metal Slug 3. Metal Slug 3, the masterpiece in SNK's emblematic 2D run and gun action shooting game series. That's a lot of adjectives. Emblematic 2D run and gun action shooting game series, which still continues to fascinate millions of fans worldwide to this day for its intricate dot pixel graphics and simple and intuitive game controls, lands on PS4. Clear 5 immense and challenging stages featuring multiple branching paths to explore exciting new areas via multiple playthroughs. That was laborious to get through.
you know what that looks like?
That was
The
a lot
game
like
is
work.
not going to be laborious though. That looks like Haley Attack 3.
Who's Haley?
Oh, it's Heli Attack, I guess. Not really Haley. They had it on mini clips. It was a mini clip game.
Oh, nice.
That game looks like it'd be a ton of fun on Vita. Like a ton of fun on Vita. You should give it a shot. And then give
Well,
it
there's a game releasing this week on Vita that looks pretty cool to me. This 2013 Infected Wars. That looks real awesome to me. But anyway, this is not a Vita show. I love my Vita.
Just saying. It's coming out on Vita, so...
Yeah.
I love
Maybe.
my third Vita like I love my fourth wife.
I only have one wife, okay?
Okay.
Her name is Lauren, and I love her to death. All right? And I only have one Vita now, and I love it to death.
And her name is Lauren. And all
Also releasing, we have Yorby Episode 1, Payback's a Bolt. The evil Dr. Zox has taken control of the planet Yorbia Prime, destroying the all-powerful Guardians while enslaving the remaining inhabitants. The future of Botkind now rests on the shoulders of Yorbi, an unlikely hero who was arisen from the remnants of this once great civilization. So,
Is this Wally's cousin?
that looks like what's that movie with the big robot? Because
Iron Giant.
doesn't that look exactly like the Iron Giant?
Beetleborgs.
Not Beetleborgs.
Not Beetleborgs.
What's the one where the guys...
It's the Iron Giant.
what's the one where it's like
It's the
post-apocalyptic?
Iron Giant.
District 12 or something?
Oh man.
You're talking about Chappie.
The one where
It doesn't
where
look anything like
Wolverine
Chappie.
boxes with him.
Oh no.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
God, what was that movie called?
I don't know. It's
Is it actually? Is it just Hugh Jackman boxing with somebody?
Steel. It's Steel something.
Real Steel.
Real Steel. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine.
All right, and then Releasing on the Xbox One, we have Forza Horizon 2 presents The Fast and the Furious.
You never had me. You never had your car. I'm sorry. I did Fast and Furious quotes again.
Remember when you did this last time and everything just fell apart because nobody had any idea? He had to blank out so many words that we had no idea. Oh, I wouldn't have had any idea.
It's actually a
what he
really
was
cool
referencing.
quote. If you would have been able to say it all.
It's probably the best. I won't go there again. I'm sorry.
Did anyone look at the pricing of Forza Horizons 2?
Presents
The game itself or the standalone DLC?
The standalone
discussing
DLC,
I
the
have
Fast and
not
Furious.
seen. I tried to look it up on the Xbox Store, but I couldn't find it.
But the fact that they made this standalone, I think, is really cool. Like, almost sort of like a, is it First Light? Is that the infamous one?
First Light.
Giving somebody like a kind of low risk way of entering into the franchise to see if they can get a feel for it rather than having to drop $60 on a full release title. So people being able to get in there, kind of get a feel for whether or not they like Forza Horizon 2 with the potential of it maybe selling more full release games, which I love that game. The little bit I got to play of it, I thought the controls were really tight. I thought the game was gorgeous. And so I think a lot of people will try this out. Either A, for the fact that it's not going to be $60, or B, because it's the Fast and the Furious, and there's people that has a huge fan base, and a lot of people are going to fall in love with Forza Horizons because of that. You finding a price on
Trying
that?
to. I'm almost there. I think maybe, or more. That's the game.
I have no idea, but anyway, so. And then we also have Oddworld New and Tasty, which came out on PlayStation 4 a couple weeks ago, but now it will be hitting the Xbox One. And that is what we have in store this week with the releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
I'm so excited about Bloodborne. And the fact that Larry's not here means you can just ham these things up, dude. You can add a couple verses into these. You can...
Releases of the week, baby girl.
You can drop a beat, drop some samples. Just don't sample anything by Marvin Gaye because we will get sued.
Can I sample stuff by other well-known people? I don't know.
Well-known African-American soul singers. Am I allowed to do that?
Get up. Get on up.
Yeah.
Get up.
Some James Brown.
Per se, like Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong is not a soul singer.
He brings some soul. Those
define soul
musical.
Moving on.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Spokes in his wheels.
We're moving on to news. To the news.
News with the podcast guys. We talk about the news and bring the news to you on the podcast.
All right. We'll lead off with some news that
the bridge to that
you're going to be very interested in because it finally came to fruition. After a couple of days of just very convoluted reporting of what was happening and some statements being made by both sides that were just incredibly veiled, it is official that Hideo Kojima and Konami are going to part ways after the release of Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm not sure how much of the story you looked into, but
they've been talking about it for a while.
Well, and
it's been mentioned.
Yeah, that rumor always has been swirling for quite some time, but just the sheer seemingly high amount of animosity between, at least directed from Konami to Kojima, is what makes this interesting. Like Kojima's name has been taken off of all of the marketing artwork. Kojima Productions' office has been limited with the corporate communication in her office, like from email and phone and all that sort of stuff, and just really an abrupt distancing from Konami and Kojima. And basically they've become contract workers until all the post-release stuff is finished for Metal Gear Solid 5, and then they're just going to part ways. So they're under contract till the end of December, and then Kojima and Konami will no longer be a marriage.
And supposedly they're looking for, a new development team to start working on, the continued Metal Gear series. But I really don't think... I can't see a Metal Gear that's not a love child of Hideo Kojima. I don't think it's possible. He's got such a unique style, and it says that much more that every game is so much different from the last. He's just got this beautiful touch that goes into everything that he does, and without that in Metal Gear, I just don't really see how it could work out.
Well, let me ask you this, because I have some thoughts about Metal Gear moving forward, but
That's why. Have you played the HD collection anymore?
no, I haven't. But
Okay.
I have some speculation, some wild speculation about what happened here.
Speculation.
What do you think happened? Why do you think this kind of abrupt parting of ways?
Money, creative differences. I mean, I would assume that it would be something in the creative realm with if he was to leave that project after so long. You know, this has been going for 20 years, something like that, since the 80s, early 90s, whatever.
If you if any of these things are incorrect, just correct me. But Kojima said that Metal Gear Solid 4 was supposed to be the last Metal Gear, right?
Supposedly, but I mean, it's one of those things. It could be, it could not.
Right. But here's my wild speculation. This is why I asked this. I feel like they got to Metal Gear Solid 5. And they got to Metal Gear Solid 4. And Kojima was like, look, I want this to kind of be the last Metal Gear in the series. Want to move on, want to start working on some new things. And they got done with Metal Gear. Konami comes in and says, all right, sold well, did well, let's do it again. And I feel like Kojima was like, okay, well, we'll do one more. Got into the creative process, got into developing it. Now they're nearing the end of this stage, and they're probably looking forward to what the next project's going to be. Kojima goes into the offices at Konami, says, I want to, again, this is all speculation, I want to do something different. I don't want to do Metal Gear. And Konami's like, Metal Gear is what makes us money. You're going to make another Metal Gear. And Kojima finally was just like, all right, if it's either I do another Metal Gear or I don't work here anymore, I choose I don't work here anymore. And he walked. And that's just some conjecture, just some of my thinking on it. And I think it's totally tone deaf from Konami as to what is making their games popular. Like, it's not necessarily the Metal Gear name that makes it popular. It's the fact that they have Kojima. And there's really nothing else that Konami does that is relevant outside of Metal Gear Solid, and they are completely blind to the fact that it's not Metal Gear Solid that's successful, it's Kojima that's successful.
Right. Those games are such just a creation of his that really it's... I said it like 4 times already, but I just can't imagine a universe in which he is not connected to that series.
Yeah. And to just let him walk is like... If Kojima comes in your office and says, I want to do something different, but I'm willing to do it under your publishing name, you just say, all right.
I mean, this guy's been a huge selling force in the industry for, again, 20 years, if not more. Every title has just been gold, and it's one of those things that is just celebrated by everyone that plays it. Great reviews across the board. What are you going to do?
And here's the terrifying. Well, a couple things. You already mentioned the first part is that Konami is already looking to put together a team that will do another Metal Gear game. And so that just means they're just going to ride the Metal Gear brand to the ground. And they may find some people that are talented, but they're probably not going to find anyone that's as talented as Kojima with it. But then the second part of this that's terrifying that's going to matter to you, over there yawning.
No, I've never played Metal Gear, so I'm just a passive observer.
I'm just a sleepy kitty.
Kojima was going to be a major player, like one of the top creative minds behind Silent Hills. Konami owns Silent Hills. So what happens to that project now? Like,
I'll speculate wildly.
all right.
We talked about this this week sometime. I don't remember when, but the first thing that popped in my head was, okay, he owns Silent Hills, or Konami owns the rights to publishing Silent Hills. I wonder how far, because what was the release date for Silent Hills?
There was no release
There wasn't
date.
one yet. I wonder if since they have the rights, if they're just going to be like, well, we'll just put what we have out, finish it up with somebody else, and get the rest, get at least the majority of what it is out. I don't know that they would go as much hype as they've had for that game. I don't know that they would stop the release of it already. I mean, Norman Reedus is in it, so.
Well, I think I think it's nearly impossible to just stop in the middle of a development process and say we're going to release what we have, because it's not like they work on the first scene and then move on the second scene. It's like you've got an art team that works on the whole game, then that gets passed over to developers who code other things like the AI of the enemies and stuff like that. Then that gets passed on, and like, you know, and I'm just now starting to get into what development looks like, but time and time again in the conversation about games being delayed, it's that like that development process, stuff really doesn't start to come together till really late in that process. Like the game is not fun until it reaches alpha, you know? And so like, I don't think they can just stop and say, hey, we're going to release what we have. Cause I just don't think that's how game development works. I honestly think, well, it's going to depend a lot on Guillermo del Toro and what he wants to do with the project. But I hate to say it, but I don't know if Silent Hills is going to happen, or I don't even know if we would want Silent Hills to happen if Kojima isn't working on it.
That was one of the big selling points for me. I mean, that duo team up. The Norman Reedus thing, I don't particularly care about. He's just I love him on The Walking Dead. He's cool in the Boondock Saints.
Yes,
but I mean, really, that art direction that the series is going to be going in was really the big driving point for me. PT just blew me out of the water.
And that's the crazy thing about this is like they couldn't lock down Kojima to continue making this game that. Do you remember a teaser ever catching like that?
Oh no!
Like ever just gripping and starting a conversation amongst an entire console of people, and they're going to let one of the creative minds behind that.
I don't really know that a teaser's ever been done that way. Just actual playable PT, playable teaser, playable trailer.
Right. So the fact that this game is now kind of like on the ropes and in limbo is insane to me. Like you need to have your ducks in a row and make sure that all your bases are covered before releasing something like that out, which I'd have been perfectly fine if PT was just its own like standalone thing. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to Silent Hills, but if that game doesn't come, to me it's not going to tarnish the experience of PT because it was just so good. But yeah, crazy to me. Crazy. All of this stuff's crazy. What do you think? What do you think Kojima's going to do next? Is he going to stay in game development? What do you think?
There's no telling, man.
Movies.
I feel like I've read something about kind of what he would plan to do, but there's no telling. He could do anything. He could write a novel.
I think he's going to go into movies.
The thing I love the most about Kojima is everything he does, like publicly, means something. And I was looking on Reddit after it was announced that he was leaving, and like it showed a series of like his last 5 tweets before the announcement, and with the lens of him leaving, like it all made sense.
Yeah.
Like it's all veiled, and that's just how that dude's brain works, and that's why PT to me was so good. Is like people are still trying to uncover the mystery of what that was all about.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to our next point, God of War 3 Remaster is coming to PS4. This is according to an article from IGN the studio has come out and said this is the only God of War that we have immediate plans to bring to next-gen consoles.
Now, it's supposed to be... Have any of you guys played God of War?
Mm-hmm.
I watched Diz play the entire trilogy.
Really?
I like every single second of it, pretty much.
Now,
but I
that
didn't
seems
play
to be
it.
like the definitive one, doesn't it? Or something like that. It seems like it's one of the most popular.
Yeah.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
I have no idea. Diz has played them. Maybe he would be able to give us some insight. Diz, why is God of War 3 so much more popular than God of War 1 and 2? Or would you even agree with that statement?
Or Ascension?
Oh, he has no clue. What do you think is the best God of War game? He doesn't know. He's just shaking. He loves the whole series. Diz loves the entire series. So
I'm not comfortable in front of the camera.
he was on an episode like 3 months ago, and he did great.
Yeah.
He did great. Now he's all camera shy. We weren't live streaming at that time.
That's true.
Well, I think this is a question that deserves to get asked anytime we talk about a remaster. Is this a game that you think deserves to be remastered?
Very much so. I like the God of War series. I would say my favorite God of War was God of War 2.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong, brother.
So
I don't know because I haven't played them. I would really like to, I don't see much of the point between just going back and remastering like the third title in a series, kind of like we talked about Modern Warfare 2 last week. You don't have to give me all of like the DLC necessarily. I don't need Ascension. Give me like the core trilogy, and we'll cover the rest of it later.
Yeah, Zephyr Baby says it's the best one. It has boobs and big boss fights. So,
That's all you need, brother.
So,
All of the God of War has big. All the God of Wars have big boss fights.
well,
But do they have the other one?
They have boobs, yeah. They're like pixelated.
I agree with you. It's a video game. Obviously, they're going to be pixelated. I agree with you. Like, I know that they've done HD collections of this game before on prior consoles, and I guess they want to move on and do the next thing.
They have the one for the Vita, don't they?
Yeah. But I would like to see them bring them all into one collection. Like, if you have a trilogy like that, especially a trilogy as influential as God of War is, like, bring that under one umbrella, put it all on one disc, give it to us, and let us have at it. Like, I'd be all about that. It doesn't really make much sense to me why they would just do the third one. Next topic. According to lead game designer Robert Cogburn, most of The Last of Us's multiplayer team are working on Uncharted 4's multiplayer.
My God.
If I was to rank multiplayer experiences, The Last of Us would be in the top 5 all time for me. Like, I was so saddened by the fact that I never touched that when I had it on PS3. Like, I just kind of wasted half of what makes that game awesome. But then when we got it on PlayStation 4, we played that like it felt like every night for like a month.
It was great because it was such a nice surprise. Like we knew it had an online mode. We all had the game. We never touched that. And it was in like the build up to Destiny those last few weeks before September 9th when it came out. Mm-hmm. And I still remember that somehow. I guess we waited so long. Yeah. But anyway, and we were like, hey, let's try this online mode out and see what it's got going on. And man, we played it every day for about 3 or 4 weeks until time came.
Yeah, it was a blast, and I think the Uncharted's going to be different. Obviously, like Uncharted's not really as stealth based or sneaking around. It's a little more fast paced, open, actiony, and a lot more vertical even than The Last of Us because more climbing. You're an explorer, and so I think that this is definitely a positive. Another check. Like this game needs any more check pluses, but to have these guys working on it.
Well, Uncharted 3 had an online mode.
Yeah,
I never played it.
Yeah, I knew.
I'm kind of regretting that now after The Last of Us, but
yeah, Naughty Dog is so known for their awesome storytelling abilities that it kind of works against whoever's working on that multiplayer. Like, I would love to know how many people on PS3 never touched it because they just were like, this is all about the story. Even on PS4, like, so let us know if you bought The Last of Us and never touched the multiplayer. Let us know if you're in the same boat as we were when we had it on PS3 at Player3Podcast on Twitch or Player3Podcast@gmail.com.
Do you guys still have Last of Us?
I don't. No.
I do.
We should play the multiplayer sometime.
We may.
When it goes on sale digitally, though, and I can get it for like under $15, I'll pick it up again.
That's when I went on the shelf, like a good old fashioned book. Yeah.
That's true. That's very true. Next item on the list: Batman Arkham Knight has been delayed from June 2nd to June 23rd. Let me read this tweet to you because it's hilarious how they worded it.
Read that funky tweet, Lucas.
You said funky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was nervous. I was like, yeah, he just went for it.
All right, here's how this is worded. This is from the official Batman Arkham Twitter page at Batman Arkham. We are pleased to announce our new release date. Batman Arkham Knight will officially launch worldwide on June 23rd, 15th of 2015. First of all, this game was announced at last year's E3, and it was supposed to be coming out in holiday of 2015. They came out like a month later and said, not released until January. They came out a little while after that, said it's not released until June 2nd. And then they went with that for a while. Now they're releasing again. But the whole, we are pleased to announce that this game is being delayed. I've said it a billion times. I'm all for delaying a game if it needs to be delayed. But I'm also all for keeping your mouth shut about when it's going to release until you're positive about when it's going to release.
All this flip flop, and who are you, Mitt Romney?
And here's the thing. This is only 3 weeks. Like, I don't know how much you can do with a game in 3 weeks. I have like zero intimate knowledge of developing a game. Maybe you can give some insight over what we can do over 3 weeks since you've developed like 17 games. But
Unless the Reddit comes out that was all a lie, huh?
I feel like it's probably got a little something to do with E3. I've heard from a lot of different people who are more knowledgeable about the industry than me that releasing right there like before or during E3 is really tough because all of the media attention is focused on what's going to happen in Los Angeles at E3. And so maybe Batman looked at it and was like, oh, we kind of messed up not looking at our calendar very straight, and so we're going to delay 3 weeks. I don't know if this is more of like a tactical thing or if it's something that possibly is something to do like technically.
I think that it would make the most sense to do it after E3 because some people that maybe are just getting their consoles or don't follow gaming news religiously are going to see a lot more gameplay and a lot more footage from the game, and it's probably going to drive sales.
Yeah, and yeah, what I was going to say was pretty much exactly that. Way to
You're
go.
welcome.
Good job. You're great. Any thoughts?
No.
All right, awesome. Next
I
up.
don't really care about Arkham Knight.
Awesome. Also with this, and just even more mind-boggling news, I don't understand what Rocksteady's thinking with this. Apparently, they are wanting to remaster Arkham Asylum and City and bring that to console. But they're not going to do that until Christmas. And we got kind of a Borderlands situation going on here.
Or they're leaving out the Origins, right?
Yeah. But they're also releasing the third thing in this trilogy. Well, it's not really a trilogy. There's a bunch of parts to it. But the main story is Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm.
But they're releasing this to the new consoles in June and then not releasing the lead-up. I'm so lost.
Arkham Origins.
Well, just the lead-up story to it, like the Asylum and City, until after the third part of it
the lead-up
releases.
until
Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'd be interested in playing it if they released these before, because I've played quite a bit of City at this point through PlayStation Now, but I didn't really play much of Arkham Asylum. I'd love to be able to play through all of them and then play Arkham Knight. So I don't know why they're. I have no idea. What are they thinking?
I mean, they're putting out Arkham Knight out in June. They want to have something they can make money on at Christmas time. And what better than a 2-game bundle at Christmas time?
It makes sense. I just don't think it makes the most sense.
Yeah. Like
that could even be a way to build up buzz with people, like to get people into the franchise. Like, here's where we've been, and in a month or two, you're going to see where we're going.
yes. Yeah. Next item on the list: Star Wars Battlefront.
Well, Star Wars Battlefront, the gameplay will debut.
It'll debut. The gameplay debut.
Debut.
Let's just rewind.
The gameplay debut.
Next item on the list: Star Wars Battlefront gameplay debut will happen at the Star Wars Celebration on April the 16th. This is according to an article on the EA site, an announcement. So we're going to get to see gameplay for the very first time. What do you want to see? Anything specific, you guys? You guys are Star Wars fans.
I want to see a DICE Battlefield game that works just with like a Star Wars skin on it. That's all I need, and some speeders and crap like that. That's what I want.
What would you like to see, Ben?
I can't remember a lot from the last Battlefront. I remember, wasn't there like a hero system in the old
It's been
Battlefront?
like 15 years since that came
I
out.
thought there was like a hero system where you could earn like a Jedi to come fight with you or something.
Maybe.
Is that? I would love to see like a non what's the word for not being in the series of Star Wars?
Canonical.
Canonical, yes, a non-canonical Star Wars game, with the same thing that Seth just said, a DICE Battlefield game that works, that it has a Star Wars skin on it, that I can drive.
Why would you
ATs.
necessarily want it to be not
AT-ATs.
part of the canon?
I don't know. I just unless it's gonna be like a hard fast story mode that is definitely part of the canon. But I feel like if it's not a part of the canon, they have more liberties that they can take with
It's true.
the battles and stuff.
That's true.
I don't.
I want to drive the AT-AT though across the Serengeti.
The Serengeti.
Do they really release stuff that is non-canonical to Star Wars? Like, isn't the whole entire cartoon?
It depends. Like, I think the Clone Wars is, but you've got things like there was a N64. Thank you. N64 game called Shadows of the Empire that kind of plays off the story of the original 3 after the or kind of during the events of them, but it's not really canonical. And then they've got books and things like that cover the period that this new movie is going to be covering, but in a very different way. So those books that have been published over 30, 40 years aren't really part of the canon.
Okay. See, I think a lot of people would disagree and want the game to be canonical. I really don't care either way. I just want the game to be good because it looks awesome, and I just want to fly spaceships. That's all I want to do. As long as I can fly spaceships, I'm okay. But here's
Did they have dogfights in the old Battlefield?
Hmm?
Did they have dogfights in the old Battlefront with like X-wings and stuff?
Mm.
That would be kind of cool. X-wing dogfights.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. Here's the best part. They confirmed this game to just be on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And I was nervous, along with a lot of people, that they were going to be like, well, this is going to, because it's EA. And they're like, we'll be able to make a lot of money off this if we release it PS3, Xbox 360, which I think is the main reason a lot of these games were broken when they got released, is because they're trying to run them on so many different things. So for them to just say, hey, PS4, Xbox One, we're good. Like, well, on PC. Bravo to you, EA. Tipping my hat. Turning it around, and I'm tipping it because...
And then we're turning it back around.
Yep. Because that's what more games need to do. Just say, hey, we want to make the best experience we can for the people who have adopted these new consoles. Next item on the list, we have Microsoft and Tencent. They're partnering to bring League of Legends and other games to Windows 10 as universal apps. The games themselves may not matter that much to you, but the simple fact that there will be PC games that can easily port themselves over to Xbox One through making themselves a universal app. How does that make you feel? What are games that you would like to see? Yes. Discuss.
I don't really play too many of those games, so I don't really know how to contribute.
Well, just any PC game, really.
Or just any
DayZ
PC game.
is specifically PC, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see DayZ ported over. I don't know if that's a huge game though, so I don't know if that would be possible. But
I want Minesweeper and Ski Free. Remember Ski Free?
oh gosh, I had one of those old rear projection computers. I kept my Pokemon cards in a database on that computer, and that was the only thing I did with that computer. And I played Ski Freak.
It was where you could. Was there any way to win that game?
Nope.
Because Bigfoot came and gobbled you up. And so you could. Sometimes you could. I never made it past this one point until this one time. I waited like 5 years and I went back and played it, and I got like 40 feet past that point, and then he came and gobbled me up.
It's
again.
the slalom thing, right? Don't
Yeah,
you just do, like, the slalom
You're
stuff?
dodging trees.
Gosh,
you're
I love that
skiing.
game.
What about Elf Bowling?
I love that too. Gosh,
There was a
All the
Christmas season
classics.
where I played the crap out of some Elf Bowling. Because there was also one that was Elf like like shuffleboard.
I just know they got really bloody.
Yeah, they did get really bloody. It was animated
Dark.
for kids, and then it got really, really dark. I loved it.
There was a game that I used to play with my uncle. It was like a puzzle game, and you had to. It was kind of like Rat Trap, but it was not at all Rat Trap. You had to set up these simple machines though that did like crazy stuff and to get to the end of a level. That was really cool. That would be kind of neat. I don't know what the name of the game was. Though.
I love how we're talking about like this huge thing in Microsoft where they'll be able to like port things over through Universal Apps, and we'll be able to play them. And we're sitting here talking about Elf Bowling and whatever the heck you're talking about.
Rat Trap, but not Rat Trap.
Next item on the list, we have Battlefield Hardline launched. In good news, it launched very smoothly. Really no server issues or anything like that on their end. However, they suffered through a DDoS attack on the Xbox One, and that's just super unfortunate because Battlefield kind of carries that weight of like really screwing stuff up, and they didn't screw it up. Somebody else screwed it up for them. but there's a lot of people who won't go digging into it, and they're just like, oh, it's Battlefield being Battlefield, just not working when we buy it. So that was unfortunate for them. I just wanted to mention that very quickly. Rant. Next item on the list, PlayStation Vue launched in Chicago, Philadelphia, and New York City with plans starting at $49. They kind of announced their pricing model here. I'm going to open this up because this was something that I think we were all kind of interested in.
I looked at it. There's the Elite package is like $70.
Yeah, but to me, it's just out of touch. Like, let's see. Okay, here we go. I mean, they have a ton of stations.
You get 50 for the main package. You get, I don't know what the next step up is. The Elite's all the channels they offer.
Here's the thing, though. Like, this is where it feels like PlayStation is kind of deaf to what the issue is. Yeah, you're throwing 50 channels at us. I can only watch one at a time. Like, so give me quality. Like, there is a ton of stuff in here that's like, I'm never going to watch TV Cozy. I don't even know what that is.
BET Gospel.
Yeah, BET Gospel. I don't know what that is. I'm never going to
FXM. That sounds really. That sounds like a bad channel.
Like, there's a ton of channels on here I'm never going to watch, and to price this at not even like a competitive rate against cable. This is what you pay for cable. $60 a month, $70 a month. That's what you pay for cable. And now you're going to have to unpackage that from your internet, and then your internet price is going to go up. And you're essentially going to be paying the same exact that you were paying to begin with. And it's like, if you want this to be successful and to be able to undercut the cable companies, you've got to come through and price this competitively, like SlingTV has, which is also the next item on the list. But we can talk about these things jointly. SlingTV released exclusively on Xbox. It's $20 a month. You get way less channels, but to me, and again, it's a preference thing, but the channels mean more to me than any of these do. Like, this has a lot of the channels, but like
the core has Golf Channel, which makes me kind of interested in it.
Is AMC not on this PlayStation Vue?
No, it is not.
Oh, that's a breaking point.
Yeah, that's the thing. SlingTV for me has ESPN, Food Network, HGTV, and AMC, and that's really all I watch. It's really in Adult Swim. The only thing it's missing for me is Comedy Central, which this has. But you can watch most Comedy Central shows on their website after
or Hulu
they air, or on Hulu. Here's why I think. Well, let me let you guys talk about it for a second because I need to write this down. What do you guys think about this?
The SlingTV looks like a better deal to me, man. I mean, you've got things that can complement these packages like Netflix, Hulu Plus. Really, do you need 1,000 channels? HBO is going to be coming just strictly online soon with no cable package needed. I mean, what'd you say? So your SlingTV package is the base package, and it's going to be $20.
$20 a month.
That's a deal. I don't care who you are or where you're from.
The only thing that's hanging me up with the a la carte, well, this isn't even really a la carte. This is still not, like you said, it's still pretty much comparable to cable as far as the channels things go. You get less channels really for the money, but what I get hung up with on these is no DVR. And I've always heard once you have it and you don't have it, you're gonna miss it. And
PlayStation Vue does have a cloud DVR system that you can use. Like, it allows you to store shows for up to a month after they air.
Well, that plays pretty. That would explain the pricing to me.
You want me to explain the pricing to you, and I didn't realize this till I'm looking at these lists. You have NBC, CNBC, MSNBC, NBC SN. You have you said Golf Network was on here somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get the core package.
You know who owns all those?
NBC?
No.
Comcast.
So, in order to get those channels on there, Comcast has to be in agreement with the terms that PlayStation Vue carries. And if PlayStation Vue would have come in and said, we're going to undercut the price of cable, Comcast would have said, well, we're out, and then they lose 10 of the channels that they have on here. That's the reason it's priced like this. I don't think it has anything to do with DVR or anything like that. You can watch like on-demand stuff on SlingTV, which almost functions sort of like a DVR.
And you said the SlingTV retains like the previous 2 episodes of shows that come on, right?
Well, it's basically the same policy that like your Comcast on-demand stuff has.
Right.
So some shows will keep the entire season as it's going through, and then some shows like The Walking Dead, you'll be able to watch the 2 prior episodes. But I would venture to guess that Comcast is one of the reasons for the pricing of this thing, and that's just speculation. And that's also
speculation.
That's also knowing Comcast and the way that they like to deal with business practices. So yeah,
MTV Hits, MTV Jams, MTVU.
seriously, I'm never watching any of those channels. Just gonna stick with SlingTV, save $100 a month.
Just in case you really like watching Teen Wolf.
What's the difference between Nickelodeon and Nicktoons? And Teen Nick?
I have no
And
idea.
Nick Jr. Aren't they all the same thing?
This is the exact problem with cable: is you got 40 different options of the same channel. Why do I need a Cartoon Network and a Cartoon Network West? I have no idea.
What?
I have no idea. I have that with DirecTV.
I don't understand.
I'm
Cooking. There's a cooking. It's just cooking.
That's an awesome channel. You can get that on SlingTV as well for $5 extra a month in one of their packages. But one of the things that I am looking forward to, this is the stepping stone to a la carte. This is the stepping stone to pay $1 per channel that you pick, $1.50 per channel. Whatever.
I can't wait till that happens.
That's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. Bring it on.
The future. We need it here now.
Moving on. Next item on the list. Rod Ferguson. Who Ben keeps calling Turd Ferguson. From Black Tusk Games says that there is no Marcus Phoenix collection to be announced. So he says, I love the passion, but there's no Marcus Phoenix collection. We are working.
Marcus Phoenix. Marcus Phoenix.
That was one of those Freudians.
Freudian slip.
We are working on other exciting Gears projects. I'll see you at E3, end quote. Note the plural here. Projects.
I've got a theory.
Go ahead.
He says there's no Marcus Phoenix.
You did it too!
My God.
Freudian slip.
My God. Freudian slip. There's no Marcus Phoenix collection. Marcus Phoenix collection. It's gonna have. I think they're gonna do one. It might have Judgment involved.
That's my thought. Is like they're working on a collection. It's just not called.
Why would
Marcus.
they not? That's a huge Xbox selling point. And in the Master Chief collection, even though it wasn't the most wildly successful or operative thing on the market, it sold a lot. It's part of a console bundle now.
And especially when the only exclusives we know are coming. We have Halo 5. That's huge. Tomb Raider, which, maybe that's my PlayStation fanboy coming out. But I don't see that as being like a system mover. And then Quantum Break, who Lord knows when that's coming out. So why not give the Xbox people such as myself and the Gears fans such as myself a collection to look forward to? I will have a hard time not pre-ordering that game if it gets announced. Just
tempt me, Phil. Tempt me, Phil Spencer.
I think at E3, what we're going to see is we're going to see some sort of Gears collection that may include Judgment, and then something for the new Gears get announced. That's the projects that they're working on. That's my.
I would agree. I don't think it's gonna be the Marcus Phoenix collection. I think it's gonna be the Gears of War collection. They're gonna be a whole little snafu, like we tricked you, ha ha.
Pulled the wool over your eyes. Nobody knew, and then we send them a copy of this podcast. And
Let's see. He in quotes here. No Marcus Phoenix collection, but it's gonna be Marcus Phoenix collection.
That is in quotes because I put it in quotes because that is a quote.
That's the whole quote.
Yeah.
I know. No Marcus Phoenix collection. It's not gonna be that.
Right.
It's not going to be titled No Marcus Phoenix Collection. It's going to be titled
God.
Marcus Phoenix
We're
Collection.
going to get real into semantics here on the podcast this week.
All right, moving on. Next item on the list, we have the Nintendo Corner. We rarely talk about Nintendo. on this podcast. Not for any hatred that we have towards Nintendo. It's just we're not as in tune with the world of Nintendo as we are with Xbox and PlayStation. However, there's some interesting news coming out of Nintendo. First, they will be partnering with a Japanese mobile company called DNA, D-E-N-A, in order to bring Nintendo games to the mobile arena, to the mobile platform. However, many people started saying, all right, well, this partnership is going to bring Mario to
Mario.
to your iPhones, to the
Have you
iOS
just got like
devices.
a campaign to pronounce that Mario.
Do we want to do that? Hashtag
Now, it seems like that's what you've been doing recently.
hashtag Mario. MARRYO. Mario.
Okay.
Mario.
All right. Welcome to the Mario 3 podcast. However, Iwata comes out, and I meant to look up who he is. He's bigwig over at Nintendo. Again, I am so out of touch with
He's
Nintendo.
Japanese.
Yes, he is.
Iwata.
Says, quote, however, if you report that we will release Mario on smart devices, it would be a completely misleading statement. It is our intention to release some application on smart devices this year that is capable of attracting consumer attention and communicating the value of our entertainment offering. So I would encourage you to see how our approach yields results, end quote.
They're bringing Mario to mobile devices. There's no way that they wouldn't do that. Are you kidding me?
I think there are very many ways because Nintendo's kind of stingy with their stuff.
And this will be a point I'm going to bring up in the next conversation about Nintendo. But Nintendo doesn't tend to enjoy crossing over the same game to other kinds of platforms.
Yeah.
So like, that's why you have some Zeldas that are on console and some that are on handheld. Like, however, there are 1 billion iOS devices, 1 billion with a B, iOS devices in the world with tons of users. I would venture to guess a very large portion of those users would jump at any chance to pay $3 for Super Mario Brothers on their iPad
Or World or any of them.
Yeah. Just whatever. Like
Yoshi's Island.
So okay, let's just say 10% of your 1 billion. That's 100 million, right? That's 10% of a billion.
I think so.
That's math.
I majored in English.
All right, they've got that. You're selling Mario for $3 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
That's
$300 million.
Huh?
Minus development costs.
300 million. Your math is terrible.
You said $3 a piece, 100 million, 10%
Oh
of a
yeah.
billion.
You're
So
right.
300
My
million.
math is terrible. My math is terrible.
Get off the show, Luke.
This is the one time I've ever had to admit I'm wrong in front of Ben. Anyway, like you're just gonna leave that? You're just gonna leave that on the table just because you have some sort of like pride in where you want to take your stuff and you don't want Mario to end up on iPhone. Like you have to do this.
You honestly don't have to even make anything
And
new.
especially those old platformers like Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3. Those would work so well because all you need is one thumb for motion, movement, and one thumb for jumping.
Yeah.
You don't need to make
Boom.
anything new. Don't even make anything new. Bring the old Super Metroid to mobile devices. Bring the old Link to the Past to devices. Bring the old Super Mario to devices. Please bring Yoshi's Island to devices. And then, yeah, you're good.
Bring Mario Kart.
Mario Kart on mobile device would be awesome.
I like how you caught on very quickly to Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to just bring you around on it.
It's going to take some time.
So yeah, and plus, like, you want to show good faith to the people that you partner with, and to say, hey, we're going to partner with you to bring games to mobile, but we're going to keep you away from our most profitable IPs. Like, I don't see that being a good move either. So
I don't care a thing about Ace Attorney on my iPhone. I don't care a thing about Hello Kitty whatever on my iPhone. I don't care a thing about some JRPG on my iPhone. But I'd love to have some Mario.
All right, then the next thing concerning Nintendo, they have announced that they are developing a new piece of hardware. They didn't say console, just a new piece of hardware, codenamed NX. All right, that's all that's like all the information on it that we have. However, you can pre-order this at EB Games in Australia. We have no information on it. We just know that it's codenamed NX. We don't even know what the thing's called, but you can pre-order it.
They have a price?
No.
How do you pre-order something without a price? I never understood that. Like,
I don't understand any of this. All right, but this is where, Seth, get the pipes ready. We are going to wildly speculate about Nintendo's NX.
Wild speculation!
All right.
Hopefully, I was far enough away from the mic.
I think you'll be all right. Let's see how badly Diz reacts to it. We're just going to watch him for a moment here.
Watch him slowly but surely.
I think he's
Look
going
at
to be
the
all right.
wild Disbald in his natural habitat. There we go.
There it is.
Still a
There's
little
the wild
loud, huh?
speculation
Still a
head.
little loud.
Can I do mine first?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Mine is wildly speculatory. Right? Is that the way to say it?
Speculative.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
You lost your turn.
Speculationographer.
I think old Nintendo is gonna make the jump to future, and they started with their N64 console that was excellent. Then they moved up to the GameCube, and then they decided to try to take motion capture by storm, and they approached the world with the Wii and a fully integrated controller that you could do all your little junk with that didn't really half work. And then they brought out the Wii U and had their mobile and motion. Well, let me tell you what the next step in mobile and motion is. It's a fully operational Samus suit that has all your heads-up display information for your gaming, so you can go and terrorize your town with the plasma hand thing while you play your favorite platformers.
It's not a game anymore. It's just the game is seeing how many felonies you can commit while wearing the Metroid suit.
It's not a
It's
game.
bulletproof.
It's not
Right.
a
When the
game. It's
cops
more
show
so.
up?
It's Halloween.
That's why you can only order one in Europe, because there's so many
It's
government
Australia.
whatever. There's so many government regulations.
Those are literally two totally different continents.
Hey, Samus, let's throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Over here in London.
It's a controlled island, so
Samus,
Samus suit
hop
can't
on your
fly.
magical kangaroo, your space-roo.
seriously, that even adds more to it.
That you get
my
a
goodness.
free Space Kangaroo when you pre-order
No,
3 years before it's released.
No, the Samus suit can't fly or get in water, so it's in a controlled environment. If it destroys Australia, what do we lose? Like an old Olympic place? Like that's all we lose, really. Sorry if you're from Australia.
There are a lot of Aboriginal cultures with astounding significance. There are koala bears.
It's true. There's also a ton of animals that want to kill you in that
Yeah.
place.
A lot of
Samus suit.
A lot of
Samus suit.
A lot of
It's
marsupials that don't exist anywhere else in the world.
You guys are bringing so much validity to my argument.
I would like to wildly speculate.
Wild speculation.
Okay, a lot of people have been arguing that NX should be pronounced N-Cross. And part of the reason for that is because they want to make a system that kind of does what Smash Brothers does, where you can use your Nintendo 3DS XL as another controller. I think they're going to take it a step further. They're going to combine the console and mobile experience and create a Nintendo 3D the new Nintendo 3DS XL cubed, new DS3 XL cubed XL that is going to feature a 55-inch screen that you will be able to fold the keyboard out. You will have to use your hands for the buttons, but then so it has console functionality because it's the size of a television, but you can fold it up, and it's got a dolly wheel on the end of it, and you can drag it along with you, and it also becomes a mobile experience. It comes with a free trailer hitch if you pre-order.
You called it.
That's it.
You called it.
Are the wheels are they able to hold the like if you're driving down the bypass per se, like the wheels are rated at that speed?
Oh yeah, no, not at all. That's going to be like the first big thing is that people are going to buy these, then pull them behind their cars, and the tires are just going to shred to bits within the first couple miles, and then they're going to have to buy a new 3DS XL cubed XL 3X.
You right, bro.
Yeah.
So that there's like a really like long insurance document that you fill out when you buy this.
Well, and that's what they're going to do. That's the next business venture. They're going to they're going to partner with State Farm, and you can buy insurance for it. Oh, I think we have a question here. We have something here. I don't know what he's pointing at. Around 6 months ago, there was a file that was leaked that Nintendo was working on a console called Project Fusion. I hate that name. That's like the most generic name you could give anything.
Project Fusion. I could just see the trailers now where like something's like crashing against each other and it just diffuses together and like it's a big explosion and then it says Project Fusion underneath it. and then a guy comes stepping through on the TV and crushes it with his Samus suit. And walks and destroys downtown Australia.
You can tell that thought just didn't occur to him. He didn't put two and two together until right then, because he finished his thought. And then he kind of was silent, ready for someone else to talk. And then, just as Luke's about to moderate again, he goes, and then
the twilight like hit his eyes. They just sparkle.
Yeah, it was good.
I think I'm gonna play the safe route here, as I tend to do sometimes when I just can't wild speculate. Wild speculation. I'm just expecting a true next gen Nintendo console that the Wii U was not. Some good graphics, some innovative gameplay. Nothing too wild.
Here's the thing. By the time this console releases, the PS4 and Xbox One will be 3 or 4 years old. And
well, not to say that it will be up to date, but I guess it'll be caught up to where we are right now.
yeah, well, but I'm saying that to say that, like, until they get back on the release schedule of coming alongside PS4 and Xbox One and releasing things that are comparable, they're going to continue to be irrelevant.
Mm.
No one wants to buy 3-year-old technology for brand new prices.
Right.
And like, I think they need to realize they make their money off of two things: the IPs that they own, and the fact that their handheld is possibly the best handheld you can get on the market right now. Sorry, Vita. But for them to create a console experience that merges the handheld and gives people like a reason to want the console. Like, I've got a 3DS, and now my experience with the new 3DS XL isn't going to be complete until I own this new console. Like, that's good marketing right there. Mm-hmm. And so, but that's going to require kind of a paradigm shift for Nintendo to say, we want to create things that work in various spaces of our ecosystem, where you can play this on 3DS, then play it on your television, and then, maybe have some mobile companions that go along with these things. Like if all of those things can meld together in the perfect storm, I don't think it's going to make Nintendo as relevant as the Xbox One and PS4, but I think they can start to catch up on some of the ground they've lost with Wii U. However, with that being said, this disappoints me because it makes me feel like they're just abandoning the Wii U after just a couple years of it being on the market. And like, the install base isn't that big, and they didn't sell nearly as many as they did with the Wii. The gamepad's kind of awkward, but like, I enjoy the games that I have on it, and I mean, albeit that's like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, and when the new Zelda comes out, I'm sure my wife's going to want to play it. Like, but for them to just kind of abandon this to move on to the next thing's a little disappointing. Any other thoughts on that? All right, that's all we had for the news.
Okay.
And now we
News
move on
with the podcast, guys.
Now
I had
we're
to finish
moving
my.
on to the results of it. You want to get those?
We don't have a random question of the week.
Well, we're gonna do Protagonist Madness and then
Okay.
see how we're doing on time.
Protagonist
That
madness.
is so loud. That is so loud.
It's good. It's gonna make you really excited.
No, it's gonna make you really deaf. Now no one's gonna hear the results to Protagonist Madness.
Waiting for it.
Seriously, he just.
It's not gonna be that bad.
I can hear that. I can hear that through Dizzy's headphones.
It's like the Olympics.
How is it like the Olympics?
That doesn't sound any. Isn't the Olympics just a bunch of trumpets?
Bum bum ba bum bum bum. I can't finish it because we'll break.
Isn't
out
that the
for-
Russia theme song?
Nah,
The Russia theme song.
it sounds like it, but I can't finish the actual song.
Oh,
because we'll
Canada.
get
Oh,
copyright infringement.
Right.
My
guys haven't
home
seen
and
these results
native
yet.
land.
You guys haven't seen the results to this yet,
I'm
so
excited to see him.
oh my gosh. Anyway,
What's wrong?
you
What happened?
killing all of our listeners with your
Uh,
words of songing.
I'm sorry, the Fizz.
All right, thank you to everyone who has voted in the Protagonist Madness, and if you vote now, those results will not be counted because these are written on paper here. You guys have not seen the results to this yet.
I haven't.
We're just losing viewers by the droves because they're all deaf now. Here we go. A couple surprises in here, and we're just going to go through these real quick. Mario bracket went like this. Mario faced Paddle. He won. Mario 86% to 14%.
Cool.
He will face the winner of the Fox McCloud Cloud Strife battle, which was Fox McCloud with 60% of the vote. Then Ryu, how do you say it?
Ryu.
I don't know.
Ryu.
Ryu. From
We're American.
Ryu from Street Fighter beat Zit Pimple and Rash from Battletoads 76% to 24%, and he will face Leon Kennedy, who beat Gabe Logan 82% to 18%.
Wow.
Then we have number 2 seed Samus winning over Conquer, number 15 seed Conquer 67 to 33%, and they will take on Jack, who beat Dovahkiin. Who beat Dovahkiin. Who beat Dovahkiin 52% to 48%. Then we have Donkey Kong, who beat number 14 seed Steve 71% to 29%, taking on Sly Cooper, the number 11 seed, with the upset over Isaac, 54% to 46%. So Mario versus Fox McCloud, Ryu versus Leon Kennedy. Then we have Samus versus Jack, and Donkey Kong versus Sly Cooper. Moving on to the Nathan Drake bracket, we have Nathan Drake winning over Corvo Altano 77% to 23%. They will take on Sam Fisher, who beat Ryu Hayabusan 71 to 29%. Then Kirby beating Captain Falcon narrowly 58% to 42%, will take on Agent 47, who beat Alucard 73% to 27%. Then Kratos beat Geralt of Rivia 63% to 37%, taking on John Marston, who killed Leon Clementine.
Wow.
Crazy.
And this seems like it's been chalked pretty.
There's been
much.
some upsets. Jack beat Dovahkiin and Sly Cooper beat Isaac. But John Marston beat Leon Clementine 76% to 24%. Then, in the biggest win of the entire first round, Solid Snake beat Pitt 93% to 7%.
Wow.
And they will be
My boy,
that
Solid.
they will be taking on number 11 seed Spyro, who beat Gordon Freeman 41% to 59%.
Wow, that was a close one.
Yeah. Pretty
Well,
crazy.
I did not expect Gordon Freeman to lose that round.
Well, I think, we kind of talked about how Gordon Freeman's a silent protagonist in that game, and it's cool that people were thinking character and not franchise. So, so your matchups there will be number 1 Nathan Drake versus number 8 Sam Fisher, 4 Kirby versus number 5 Agent 47, number 2 Kratos versus number 7 John Marston, number 3 Solid Snake versus number 11 Spyro. So that's your first half of the bracket.
Going to 32.
Then, over on the other side of the bracket, we have Link beating Frogger 92% to 8%, facing Sora from Kingdom Hearts winning 54% to 46% over Carl Johnson from GTA San Andreas. Then we have Marcus Phoenix beating out Earthworm Jim in something much closer than it should have been, 61% to 39%, versus our first 5-12 upset, Max Payne beating Liu Kang 66% to 34%. Then we have Laura Croft beating Sackboy 76 to 24 versus Rayman, number 10 seed, beating Shell from Portal 55 to 45. Then we have Pac-Man beating Little Mac 56 to 44%, facing Commander Shepard over who beat Banjo-Kazooie 53% to 47%. So there we have number 1 Link versus number 9 Sora, number 4 Marcus Phoenix versus number 12 Max Payne, number 2 Laura Croft versus number 10 Rayman, number 3 Pac-Man versus number 6 Commander Shepard. Whew. Taking a little break, letting people catch up. Diz's fingers are on fire here. All right. Here we go. And in the last section of the bracket, we have Master Chief overcoming Shovel Knight 74% to 26%.
Seriously. Shovel Knight had 24% of the vote.
I have no idea how.
Man.
Zephyr Baby
Told
says
you, man.
flips the table over Earthworm Jim.
Oh.
Then Master Chief will be taking on Galen Merrick, who overcame Faith Connors 53% to 47%. Then Joel and Ellie move on out of their matchup versus Cole McGrath 75 to 25, and they will face Ezio, who beat Captain Price 77 to 23%. Then we have Sonic beating Frank West 69 to 31, taking on Bomberman, who beat Duke Nukem 51% to 49%.
Bomberman beat Duke Nukem?
Yeah, I have no idea how. And then we have Mega Man overcoming Ratchet and Clank 68% to 32%, and then Crash Bandicoot beat the Prince of Persia 68% to 32%. So Larry, that was the bracket of heartbreak for Larry, because he loves Faith Connors and he loves Prince of Persia. So neither one of those moved on. So your matchups there will be number 1 Master Chief versus number 9 Galen Merrick, Ellie versus number 5 Ezio, number 2 Sonic versus number 10 Bomberman, and then number 3 Mega Man versus number 11 Crash. Crazy.
Yeah, there's a
I'll leave this open.
good amount
Go
of.
ahead.
Let's talk about the upsets real quick. 'Cause the chalk people, we kind of expect some of the chalk.
Yeah, what episode kind of episode? What upset to you?
I need to. I just can't. I don't remember.
The Fez is like what? No, Captain Price had a tough matchup. Ezio is by far the most loved assassin in the Assassin's Creed universe, and
Did you
so
say Ezio won or Captain Price?
no, Ezio won.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So
I'll tell you my most surprising upset for me was Max Payne over Liu Kang. The separation of that's kind of crazy.
here's the thing I got a lot with that matchup was why did we pick Liu Kang? And we kind of had a discussion about this. This was a protagonist
Right.
bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And when people think Mortal Kombat, they don't think Liu Kang first. They think Scorpion or Sub-Zero first.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were confused, like, why would you have Liu Kang in it? But
They're both antagonists.
yeah,
Yeah.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the antagonists of the match of that game.
But still, I think from the movie, Liu Kang is like real awesome. I don't know. I felt like he could have beat Max Payne. And then my favorite upset, the one I'm most excited about, and the Cinderella that I'm going to be following through the rest of this. Well, two of my favorites. There's two actually. I miss my boy over here. But the two Cinderellas I'll be following throughout the rest of the tournament here are Galen Merrick, who I'm very excited that made it through this round, and Jack, who I thought for sure was going to get beat by Dovahkiin, but he made it through.
Here's the thing. Galen Merrick is going up against Master Chief in this next round. I don't know if they necessarily have a shot. If he necessarily has a shot. All right, what in here jumped out to you?
I thought it was all pretty standard. A lot of the huge platformers took over. I think that's really what's going to come down to is platform versus platform in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers don't really match up to make that every case, but I think it's going to end up being a console war.
Yeah, that's very true. I think the biggest shock to me was how much John Marston killed Lee and Clementine. Like the story of Lee and Clementine, I think, is a really gripping story, and I think it just goes to show you that.
John Marston's is a really good story.
Oh yeah,
too,
I know his story's good too, but for that to have been as separated as it was, and then obviously Bomberman over Duke Nukem, I don't understand that. But hey, this isn't our bracket. This is you guys' bracket. In fact, why don't you find one other matchup on here that you talk to us about another Cinderella? I'm going to go put this live because it's ready to go on our Wix site, and then you guys will be able to go and vote on the next round of competitors as soon as I press the publish button. So what's another Cinderella?
I don't know if there's really. I mean, a lot of these I expected to go on. There's not a ton of these that I thought would have any trouble with their matchup.
I think Solid Snake, now that he has to face Spyro in this next round, is just going to have kind of like a clear path to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Because he's got. Well, I don't know. He's got to contend with Kratos.
I think most people will pick Solid Snake over Kratos.
If they have any sense in their brains, then
In their brain.
in their brains.
Kratos made it a good way for in our little fake bracket we had. He was actually in the championship game, wasn't he? I think maybe I don't know. The most interesting, who I think can make it the furthest. Let's see.
Well, we are
Post their
live
matchup.
now. It's up. So if you want to drop a link to the Player 3 podcast there, you guys can go ahead and vote on the next round of this. Also, if you have any places you like to post links, whether it's Reddit or StumbleUpon or anything like that, go ahead and drop it there, and we can get more people going in this next round. I think this is going to get really, really interesting. What do you think is going to be the closest matchup in this next round? For me, I think it's going to be Joel and Ellie versus Ezio. Joel and Ellie's story is great, but they only have one game, and Ezio has multiple games that he spans across.
Ezio's the most popular guy in that franchise, and for good reason, because he was the first character to he's the second protagonist in the franchise, but coming from the Altair storyline, where really he doesn't have much character going on to his name, Ezio really brought brought that to that franchise, and it's going to be hard to take him down, I think.
I could see the Mega Man and Crash matchup being kind of close. Actually, those are two
Oh yeah.
pretty good. I mean, pretty solid fan bases. That if you're into those games, you're really into those games. So
I think Crash all the way personally, but
yeah,
he had a lot of spunk to him.
and I see the Ryu, however you want to pronounce it, Leon Kennedy matchup being kind of a tight matchup also. Again, if you like those games, you're either really for them or really against them, and both of those pretty handily won their entry games. So, I'll pose this question to you unless you guys want to still talk about matchups. What do you think is the weakest bracket we have going forward here, and who do you think is the strongest 32 that we've got going here?
The weakest of these, I think, would have to be I would have to say it's the Master Chief bracket.
He's got a pretty straight shot through his region.
The Link bracket is also pretty weak, I would think. Like with Pac-Man being the 3 seed in that one, I think some people are going to have easy paths there. But I would say the Master Chief bracket. I think Master Chief's got a clear-cut path to the finals, to the final matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest one is going to be the Nathan Drake one, because you got Solid Snake, you got Kratos, you got Agent 47, you got Sam Fisher, Nathan Drake, like you got all kinds of people, John Marston, all these characters that people love. So it's a toss up in that bracket.
I was going to agree both sides here. We've got them split up. Our Link bracket and Master Chief bracket are on our left side of the bracket, and our Mario and Nathan Drake are on the right. And I think Mario and Nathan Drake, both of their brackets, both of their regions, would be the hardest, in my opinion, over top of the Link and Master Chief bracket, just because there's so many iconic names like Mario and Leon Kennedy and Ryu and Donkey Kong, Jack, Samus, all in the Mario bracket. And then you've got, like you said, Nathan Drake, Kirby, Agent 47, Kratos, Solid Snake, just a lot of heavy hitters on that side.
I'm excited to see next week. So you guys have a week to vote. Head on over to player3podcast.com. Cast your votes on who you want to see move on to onto the next round. But we're going to move on to everybody's favorite segment, the random question of the week.
Random question of the week for the month for this week.
Beautiful. That was lovely. All right. This is a developmental question. How has your taste in video games evolved over the course of your life? Like, is there a platform, is there a genre of game that you particularly used to enjoy that you no longer enjoy, or how's your taste in games kind of grown up with you?
Man, I've kind of flip-flopped over the years. I kind of started off with things like Zelda and Pokemon and a lot of Nintendo exclusives. You know, they have their own very unique style to the games they do. But I kind of went from that to getting into shooters. Like, I went from my N64 pretty much to a PlayStation 2, and that's when I got into Metal Gear Solid and things like that. And then it was the Xbox 360, and Halo changed my life forever. I had played at Halo 1 and Halo 2, but I didn't have a console for myself. And then I kind of got in a shooter rut for a while, and now, in like recent years, I've kind of gotten out to playing a lot more varied types of games.
Okay.
I don't know.
I started out younger, like a lot of games that I started out in the consoles where you couldn't play with other people. So a lot of my games were centered around playing by myself, and games that I really enjoyed playing alone. I still enjoy a lot of those games. Like, I love Skyrim. You can't play with anybody on Skyrim. You do your own thing. Mass Effect seems like it's going to be really awesome. Dying Light, you can play with other people, but the main part you play a lot by yourself. But I've morphed more into the games I want to invest my money in and my time into are games that I can play with other people, whether that be online or couch co-op or whatever. You know, I want to have games that I can play with the circle of friends that I have outside of the console time.
I kind of go back and forth because all of us, online gaming wasn't really a thing when we first got into it. It just wasn't available. Most of us hadn't even heard of the internet when we were children. I was an only child, only one in this room, I think, that was an only child. I don't know about Diz. He's
good.
Okay, so I'm the
There's
only
like
child.
30 kids.
I really valued that as like a way of, it's almost like watching a television show or reading a book, kind of the balance between the two of those, because it's something that you can really immerse yourself into, and that's why I think I respond so much to open world games right now. Like I'm telling you about how much I love Grand Theft Auto 5 coming in late to the game, because I can sit there by myself for 6 or 7 hours probably. I think I did like 6 last night. It was awesome, and I can go play tennis if I want to.
Right.
I
Or
can,
golf.
I can go and fly some missions running guns back and forth from Mexico to Los Santos, and it's great. But at the same time, I think it's wonderful now that we can meet up online just
And
like
do
we're meeting
all
up
those
around this
same
table
things.
and do those same things together in that game, or we can go shoot up some things in Halo, or like we can even play those single player experiences together if we want to, or with strangers. It's wonderful.
I started off playing Sonic the Hedgehog. That was the very first Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That was my very first console game. But from there, I really just became like exclusively sports, playing a lot of Madden, playing a lot of NBA Jam, a lot of triple play baseball, that sort of stuff, and kind of. That was me up until the Xbox 360, when you and I became friends over Halo 3 and played like I don't even want to know how many hours of Halo 3 you and I played together.
Every night after like musical practice and things like that.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Rehearsals.
And then it turned into Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Played that a ton online with a team of people, and so it became first-person shooter. Still really heavily into sports games and stuff like that, but really the thing that's gotten me into the widest variety of games has been doing the podcast and just wanting to be able to stay relevant within things. And like I remember when we started talking about starting the podcast, it was like, we're just going to talk about AAA games. We're going to talk about Destiny for the first 6 episodes of this show. And then the more I started to like engage myself in podcasts and reading articles and getting involved in Reddit and those sorts of things, the more I found myself wanting to play Hotline Miami, the Helldivers, Valiant Hearts, even though Valiant Hearts was made by Ubisoft. Like those things that weren't these huge cinematic experiences, but rather just like simple creative things. And so now I think that's the reason I love my Vita so much now. Is like I'm playing more. I don't need that AAA huge world experience, even though like Freedom Wars is a huge game and I'm really enjoying that game. So I used to have like a really narrow focus on what I enjoyed, and now it's much wider. Let's read some of the responses here from our viewers. The Fez said, I used to love racing, but now I'm a first-person shooter and real-time strategy person, and Steam was the thing that widened his. The Delinquent said, fell in love with the old-school Doom, Wolfenstein first-person shooter, but Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter series for the N64 got me addicted to them.
Turok was awesome.
Zephyr Baby says he started with the Commodore 64 playing platformers, then went on to the Master System playing Sonic, got a SNES, played Mario for a long time and Zelda, then started playing Halo, COD, Monster Hunter, and Dark Souls, and then a bunch of other games. So I think it's cool to kind of look back and see how the games we love have evolved. Like, I used to never want to touch anything third person, and now I almost prefer third person over first person, unless it's like a online shooter. Like I didn't like Dying Light would have held me better if it had been third person, I think. So awesome. All right, that's it.
That's the show.
All. That's the show. We're under an hour and a half.
That's us.
Check us out. Let's go around the circle. Give our information out.
All right, my name is Seth. You can find me on the PlayStation Network at Buttzorz, that's BUTTZORZ, or on the Xbox Live at Dongzorz, DONGZORZ. Kind of got a monopoly on the whole lower body thing. And it's been like months and months since I've streamed, but if you ever want to see if I'm streaming, you can find me at Buttzorz on Twitch as well.
I'm Hoobum Trady. Hoobum Trady. It's a Hoobom Trady. It's all one word. On PlayStation, it's 3 words. On Xbox, you can find me on Twitch at Hoobom Trady, all one word. I will be streaming Heist if Seth ever gets on GTA with me, and then maybe stream a little Dying Light with the Diz that's already his nickname Cooper, and yeah.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at TK from Antioch. You can find me on PlayStation Network at Lodger Blackman, Lodger Blackman. You can find me on Xbox Live at Download a Hoagie. We are the Player 3 Podcast. You can find us at Player 3 Podcast on Twitter, youtube.com/Player 3 Podcast. If you have any questions you want us to cover, email us, player3podcast@gmail.com. And just subscribe on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, all those places. Leave us a review. We would love to hear from you. We'll read those out on the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We are the Player 3 Podcast.
Player 3 Podcast!
P3P.
All right, we'll give you Seth's number real quick.
Welcome to the Player 3 Podcast After Party Lounge.
Hello and welcome.
This is your chance to just talk to us about whatever you want us to talk about, whether it's video games, life.
How old you be, Zephyr? How old you be, Zephyr? He said he's a lot older than us. If he played a Commodore 64, he's got to be a good bit older because that's like a early 90s. It's like late 80s, early 90s, yeah.
Oh, shout out to a couple new followers that we got today. We got Larzius and Mr. Dead Duke, who has been typing in a foreign language I do not understand.
He's Turkish.
Turkish, nice. So go ahead, hit that follow button. We'll give you guys a shout out. The Fez.
We don't speak Turk though.
115 followed us before we went on live, so thank you guys. So go ahead and I guess the stream is way behind because he said he's grabbing a pen. He's 28 years old. You're only 3 years older than me. I just turned 25.
Yeah, you're only 4 years older than me, so.
But anyway, this is your chance to ask us questions, suggest a topic that you want us to cover. I think Zephyr Baby, thank you for the follow, Snook186, and then I think our next follower will be our 100th follower.
Woo!
Let me check. Let me update this. If anything comes across those comments, let us know. Oh gosh, let's see. Yeah, we need one more follow, and we're going to hit 100. So if you're in the stream and you enjoy the show, hit that follow button.
Is our 100th follower going to get a giveaway?
No. Everyone just goes into a hat then, and then we'll do a drawing after that.
I've got a question for you viewers out there, you 7 of you. How many of you play 3DS games? And if you do play 3DS games, what are some good 3DS games that I should add to my library to play over the next little bit? Because I want to get back into playing my 3DS.
I've got a question out there for you guys that play the 3DS. I've got a set of speakers that I want to sell. Anyone interested in buying those things?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also have that.
Ben's been trying to sell a set of car speakers for about 3 years now. It's been longer than that. It's been as long as we've been friends. We've been friends for a while.
I've been trying to sell them since my sophomore year of college. So.
Which one?
I only had one sophomore year. Now it's just extra years now. It just goes into extra years.
I was looking at something. What games do you have right now on your 3DS?
I've got Pokemon X. I've got Mario Kart. I've got Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And I think that's it.
Zephyr Baby suggests Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and that dude's a huge Monster Hunter fan.
I've seen Monster Hunter, some gameplay of it. It looks like it'd be really cool.
I can literally pronounce none of the words in what the delinquent just suggested.
Shin Megami Tensei series?
Yes, that's it.
Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah, it's a pretty good. So I've seen Monster Hunter. For me, it looks like there's a lot of lock-on stuff you have to do. Should I get the new 3DS to play it to its full potential, or just am I good with my old 3DS? I've got the Mario version. I hope that's okay. Mario World 3D looks awesome too. I'd like to try that.
I forgot what I was. There was a game that I see every time I'm in there, and I'm like, that game looks interesting as crap to me. Yeah, that
Codename Steam
game does look awesome. Are you going to Run for God? Awesome.
Lauren Croft, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, my wife.
She could peek in.
Nice
They can't hear you.
Yeah, they can't see you either. They'd probably say inappropriate things to you if they could.
Probably.
Because of the microphone.
You gotta
they
talk
can probably
into a
hear
mic.
you faintly. Willow, get out of here. Scram, dog. Guys, make sure you're following this stream also, because tomorrow I will be streaming Bloodborne, hopefully with Seth over here with me, talking video games.
Tomorrow is my
Being awesome.
birthday.
Tomorrow is not your birthday. No, you don't need lock on at all. The old 3DS works fine. That's what I
Sweet.
use.
Cool. I'll give it a try because it looks interesting to me. So I'll give it a shot. Is it like Dynasty Warriors though? Is it a lot of like hack and slash kind of stuff, or I don't know if that's even a good reference to make.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors is hack and slash. I cannot even imagine single analog stick video games anymore. I mean, Smash Brothers it works for.
Well, they have dual one now for the new 3DS, but it's like a little nubby.
C-stick. Yeah, it's like the little mouse thing that used to be in the center of people's keyboards.
I don't understand why they don't just put another analog stick there.
Oh, I think Zephyr Baby sent us a question.
You have to take off the new 3DS. You have to take off the back plate to replace the memory card. You can't. There's not like a slot for it anymore. You have to actually take the back plate off and put it in, which is very inconvenient. I feel like
I need a new memory card for my Vita. I do not want to pay.
Oh, it's like Dark Souls. Cool.
$1,000.
Yeah.
There was a comment in the past that could be a question.
All right. What was that?
It was said. The Fez was saying that they need to make a Call of Duty collection that includes every game ever made. Would that be worth buying?
Okay, so the Fez says that they need to bundle all Call of Duties together. Now, go ahead.
I would bundle them by franchise. I don't know if franchise is the right word, but by each group. Like you've got the Modern Warfare trilogy. You've got Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. You could bundle War at War with the Treyarch games just as like an added bonus or something like that. I don't know if it would be feasible to.
Yeah.
You'd have to have multiple. I don't know how many discs to get every single Call of Duty game on there. Talk to me, Ben.
Here's what I think they should do if they're going to do something like that. Because here's what Call of Duty really is. It's a remasking. There's a lot of new stuff that's within it, but for the most part, it's everybody has their set Call of Duty combat style that they like to use. Like the year that came out that's their favorite. Here's what they need to do. They need to make a Call of Duty where you can have, if they're going to do this, have all of the single player games on all the single player modes in the game, and have one multiplayer mode. Not all of the multiplayer modes, just one. That way, you don't have a Master Chief incident where the online is just garbage for the first 3 months of having it, and you can have all the maps from the other Call of Duties with a combat system that you choose to use. So let's say you buy the game. There's a patch you have to choose to download when you get the game. And within there's several different patches that you pick from. And the patches that you would choose would be the combat system that you want to use. So like say I'm a huge fan of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And that's my favorite combat system. And matter of fact, that is my favorite combat system from the Call of Duty series. That's the combat system I want to use, but I want to play on all the maps from all the games. I would choose the patch for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that will be the combat system that I use throughout the maps of all the Call of Duty games. And if, say, your favorite one was the first Call of Duty, that's what you would do. You'd pick the patch for Call of Duty 1, or Modern Warfare 4, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and that would be the patch that you would download to all the maps for the Call of Duty games.
That would divide the community so much.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Like, think how many different systems there are in terms of, like, kill streak systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to spread those all across.
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay, let's say that you hate Modern Warfare 2's combat system, but I like it. I could download both, and then when I'm playing with you, we're playing Call of Duty 1 combat system with people who agree with that kind of thing, and when I'm playing by myself, I can play with the Call of Duty 2 system.
Well, hold on one second.
Okay.
I'll look at that shirt. And yes, you do, because anytime you want to spend money, I tell you to spend it.
That's usually how it goes.
The maps and the levels are designed for that particular like way that people use kill streaks and abilities and those sorts of things. So I would think there'd also be some balancing issues in trying to use like Modern Warfare 2's kill streak stuff in World at War maps or whatever, you know.
Well, I'm talking. I guess for my thing, I was talking just Modern Warfare.
Oh, okay.
Just the Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
games.
that may work a little better. And yes, you need to buy this shirt. It's a Walking Dead shirt that says.
The one that featured on The Talking Dead last night.
Oh, I don't watch The Talking Dead. The ringleader, the archer, the samurai, the kid. Although, can you customize it? Take Carl out and put somebody that we care about.
No, but
Who is
no.
it? What's in it?
It was well, yeah.
Soup.
So intriguing television here.
I like it. Yeah, it's nice. I
Yeah,
like
buy
it.
that.
I like
Purchase
it.
that.
I like it. I like
Worth
it.
$30.
No, Lord no.
After shipping.
$30.
You guys ready to grub?
Yeah, man.
I'm starving.
I'm starving.
Let's get out of here. Thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
We are the Player 3 Podcast, and Seth's number is 276